Get ready, folks. Everybody listen up. We're going to give you the rules and conditions, folks, and the terms to the storage auction.
We're going to go in, we're going to remove the lock, we're going to open the door and give you 5 minutes to take a look around. You can't open any boxes, you can't go inside. It's a cash-only sale. Who's ever got the most cash in their pocket can buy it. Are you ready to go? Yeah!
Here at A1 Self Storage, we have about 260 units. We usually have an auction once a year, maybe twice a year. It really just depends on the delinquency, how long it's been since someone's paid, and whether or not we can get contact with them.
So do you ever watch the show Storage Wars?
Yes, my family loves that show, even though we know that it's not really how things work, but it's just entertaining, really, is all it is.
You know, I mean, for all the lockers we find stuff in, there's 50 that we don't find anything.
And the way that they kind of like fight over and then raise each other's bids and stuff like that at the auction. If it was super realistic, then they probably wouldn't find it as entertaining as it is.
I've seen it several times, but I get not very happy with the way the sensationalism and the mockery goes. We, as storage owners, have to sell it at a public auction so that it goes to the highest bidder, and therefore any excess proceeds go to the owner of the contents.
The auctions they're not attended as well as they are on television. When we have one locally, we've had 2-3 people, honestly, at the most that would show up. We don't have any idea what people are storing in their units. We basically just rent it out to them. They purchase their own lock, they put it on their building, and from there on out, we have no clue unless they were to go delinquent and we had to cut their lock or anything like that. We would then have to inventory what they have in it.
I'll have probably 2 or 3 a year that are abandoned, but never have found anything of value in those since they don't care enough to pay for their storage bill. Some people will respond and say, you know, they want to make arrangements to catch up. Other people don't even respond. If it was anything of value, they would come back and claim it. They would not let it go off to auction.
I try to get to 2 or 3 a month. Sometimes it's only 1 a month and sometimes it's 4 or 5, but there's everything from family wedding pictures to lots of memorabilia. You come to realize that not everybody is, you know, had close family relationships, and these aren't necessarily valuable to them. If I come across something that is, you know, a personal item, I do try to return it to the family. A lot of these older folks used to use their books in their library as their bank. So I would advise anybody that's selling off the family library, just go through those books. I ran across one couple, they said, oh, we're so glad we looked, because they found several thousands of dollars that were just tucked away in these books that they probably would have, you know, sold all the books for $5, you know, so it pays to look.
We'll ask the person that wins the contents at auction that if they would like, they return the personal effects, and we will contact the owner to see if they would stop by and pick them up.
Anytime you find a unit that's got a lot of personal items in it, and if that's one that you're having to hold an auction for, here at A1 we would keep the photos, especially the photo albums, and just scrap pieces of letters and stuff like that. We would keep them in a box and we'd notify them and give them the opportunity to come up and pick it up, and just, you know, no strings attached. We're not charging you anything for this. Like, we know that this is important to you and we want you to have it, because ultimately, you know, it's their life, and sometimes they're going through hard times and they can't pay, and you just feel really bad. They kind of forget what they've stored, and even though you reach out to them and let them know that that's what you've got, they still don't come by and they don't pick it up.
The very first thing I found in one of these sales was a book that was signed by Enzo Ferrari. He was the really the man behind the famous Ferrari car, and sure enough, it's signed in blue Sharpie, and so that little $5 investment turned out to be a $500 sale. But I kind of look for something that's unique, that's going to appeal to not just myself, and that's probably where I get in more trouble. I'll find something and think, somebody out there will like this, but that's not always the case. Usually better finding things that I really like because I might really get stuck with it otherwise. But I have to get out and see what's out there. I think there's treasures to be found. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but I like to go look.